Hey guys, this next part's going to be just pivotal. It's going to help you understand what absolutely makes this software the strongest. Because so far we've done everything with the variables, the global variables, and then we produce sitemap items which uses combinations of the variables. Ordered combinations where the ordered one should be, and random combinations where the random one should be, to produce unique entries, right? But all the variables are anchored in the static part of the websites. By static, I mean everything that's not a variable is static, right? Colors, fonts, the sidebar items, anything like that feels rather static. Placement of sidebar items on individual pages and so forth. So these things seem static, but they're not. That's what I mean by liquid websites. Anything you can control inside the admin panel for a website, every control in here is controlled on that feed file that we downloaded, right? That explained downloading the feed file with all the components, right? It covers everything, all the static stuff. Then if we go to import a feed file, we can just import one, drag and drop and import, and it'll override all the settings and suddenly change our website into whatever new settings we happen to have in our file, okay? So with that said, what did I say before? One feed file to rule them all. There's got to be such a concept as a master feed file. And we would set it up for things that are beneficial to this project or that project or that project or that project. Now you might notice what I did here. If you can, I'm not going to be able to just show it to you easily, but let me just try to show you this way. This says master feed file for, garage door repair. And it says no global variables. That means that it's everything except for the global variables tab, okay? So it's the feed file that covers all the sections in the system except for which one? That. The global variables are the variables for the front end of the website. They control the main keyword on the front end, the main city on the front end, the main image you want to use, the company of all the companies in the list. It's the top company, whatever company is in the global variables is the front end. Company with phone number and everything, right? Then everything else in our variables list is for the extra pages, the ones we create in the sitemap, okay? So I have those here. And then I separated out the global variables. These are just the rest. It's the global variables only. So if I were to open any two of these files that match, right? Just to show you the idea, you'll get it right away. Okay? And the reason I'm bothering to explain it this way is to make sure this stuff makes sense. Okay? Look at this. We have a subdomains list. Okay? That is effectively the first tab. Okay? That means this sheet right here, domain sheet. Why do we bother to save that sheet? Because we have to know which theme we're on when we import a feed file. If you're importing a feed file, but you've got a different theme selected as the current theme, it would make a mess actually, because the typography controls from one theme to the next are not identical. It's not the same combination of buttons, okay? So this is different for each of the themes. In other words, 4 themes, 4 typography files. Some have different settings. So you cannot mix and match the typography files, which is why we built a fail-safe in. What's the fail-safe? The very first column is our theme name. So the first tab, first column says for each website that we're uploading to, which theme it is that this typography file belongs with. 2 video banner, 2 video banner, 2 video banner. Could I change these to the 1 images banner, 0 images banner, 1 images blocks, 2 video banner, 3 video blocks, and just cycle through them? Yeah. It will update the related item in each case, okay? But since I'm working on this structure right now, these themes, I'm just doing them as a group, okay? So there you go, these themes. So we want to upload the right typography for the right item, and that means it had to be specified, because there are literally 4 typographies. If I activate this and go to the typography page, it'll look familiar. It'll look mainly the same, but it's not. There are different settings. What else is different between the themes? The theme settings. Okay, that's the front end of the website. Well, as you may have gleaned, right, the banner blocks has other sections in here that do not belong on the full width banner, right? Banner blocks are those blocks that appear on the sides of the banner. They must have controls, and they do. So each theme has its own. So this and this, these two right here, are different from theme to theme to theme to theme, and all new themes that ever get created can have different typographies unless they're based on themes that already exist. Like we copied one, gave it a new name. Yeah, then both of those two themes can use the same typography file, okay? But there you go. Everything else, though, shares the same file, okay? So that just goes to make the point about why we bother to keep track of which theme we're dealing with. So which theme on which website, and when we upload this file, do we want that row to be ran? Yes. 0 or 1 for run it or don't run it, okay? So if you want to make an update to 5 websites, but you want to leave the rest of them alone, change all of them to 0. You know how to do that, right? 0, 0, highlight both, click and drag. And then do your, that one should be 1, that one should be 1, that one should be 1, that one should be 1. Whichever ones you cared about updating, and all the rest won't even get updated. That way you can drag and drop the whole file. You don't have to delete the domain names. Just turn them off and they won't get overwritten. Get it? So there you go. That's cool. That would be like if some guy bought some domains from your stack of domains you put out and he's like, I want to buy or rent those and I want those to be replaced with the information for me. My images, my company information, who knows, my colors. There you go. Okay? That explains that. Now what? Okay. Then there's the Global Variables tab. That has those 3 items for every variable. The name of it, the code that goes with it, and the value that goes with it. Remember how we said the first few are really system items, and you don't really change them? Not until you get up to city. And then you start making changes based on your set of cities, your keywords and services, and so on. Realize how you can suddenly drag and drop for cities? Or take a city list, copy, paste it going down? Same with service, same with keywords. We can create variability across each website right here on the Global Variables page for all of the websites. And this will affect all the front ends. Get it? It will update all the front ends of the websites if we choose to do it this way. We have a different way of doing it, and that's the randomized front ends, right? But you could also do it this way in a more controlled way, okay? All right, so there's that. Okay, I'm not going to save the changes. All right, now on the other hand, we have every other tab. This one, that one, that one, that one, that one, that one, and that one. Theoretically, and you would be right to think this, if we got rid of the theme settings tab and the theme style and typography tab, then what would be left can be updated to any one of those themes because it will be matching information. Everything is, all the same settings. Even if you change the information, it's the same columns across all of those different templates that we have in our theme list. Okay, they all share the same exact information for the Pages tab, for the Sidebars tab, for the Videos List tab. They all share the same information for everything except for just those 2. Only these 2, theme settings and typography, are the only 2 tabs that are unique to each of those 4 mainstream themes. Okay? All right. So if I wanted to make a change to one of the pages, could I make the change here? Could I actually make the change right here and then upload this file by importing the feed file and it would make that change on the website? Yes, which is pretty cool because let's stop and remember. We have all of our 96 websites right here. That means I have 96 rows right here. You can count them going all the way down. And I can edit them. Look at this. I can click in here. I can drag and pull this up and everything comes up. Now it's hard to read, but if I had 1, 2, or 3 options here, then I could paste them in, copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste, and then highlight the whole thing, keep going. You know, I could switch between variables and stuff like that. Okay, but it's all here. It goes all the way down to 98 to cover all the websites. Same with literally everything else that's in here. Okay, and that's the point. It's the one feed file to rule them all. And it has controls for everything. Okay, so what's our first interesting thing going to be maybe when we upload this feed file? Well, we're trying to change some of the obvious stuff. One of them is this. The structured data. The structured data right here. We wanted this structured data to be about garage door experts, not legacy UAP, not website installation, or I'm sorry, website marketing and website templates. We want the images to be for garage door repair. We want the URLs to be for garage door repair. Now this is demo data, but you get the idea. We want to update that section of the website. That was which section? Happens to be right here. General settings, right there, the meta tags, where we had our markup, our structured data markup. When I scroll down, it says software application. We want it to say garage door experts. It says legacy UAP. We want it to say something else, or garage door repair and garage door experts. Image is something about website installer. We want that to be for garage door, and so on and so forth, right? The destination URL, or the URL this represents is that, so on and so forth. All of this stuff should be different, okay? And I want to update that on all of the websites right now. But not just that, I want to update other things. Don't the pages have the wrong names? What about the sidebar images? Weren't those static images? I want to make those variables. Yeah, that's the point. We're going to do this through a series of very quick steps, okay? We're going to kind of look and see what these updates are, and we're going to update just a few files real quick, and we're going to see those changes we make. Why are we going to update a few files? Because we're going to emulate making bigger system-wide updates bi-weekly, or if you wanted to start a new project, you know, you'll be able to see how to go that big, okay? Or if you just want to make changes for certain clients, okay? All right, so I'm going to go ahead and kill this video. I think you get the point. Now you understand the concept of the master feed file. And by the way, when we upload this into Varsheet Installer, it can have any number of these tabs. We can make copies of this file and delete some of these tabs, and we could just upload each different file at each different time when it's ready. In other words, we can treat these tabs independently. Just remember that each copy must have the subdomains list. That tab must exist every time. But you could have a file that just has that and general settings and nothing else. Then you could have another file that has this and theme option settings and maybe theme style and typography because they go together and nothing else. Then this and pages and nothing else. Then, you know, another one with this and sidebar widgets. And then finally, the last one is the catch-all for your basic quick stuff like testimonials, images, category. Why might you break those into separate files? If you have different workers working on their sections, you might have somebody doing work inside general settings and theme option settings because they understand the coding and they know what they need to update mainly on the front end of the website. They know to change serving website owners nationwide from to something like serving businesses and residences from, you know, or serving residential clients from, okay, and drag that down. So that might be one guy's job. Another guy's job might just be style and typography. You know, create good resonant color combinations to replace the main like 3 colors in each of these rows. Create some variations, then drag and drop all that just to make those vary. Okay, you might have somebody else whose job's to handle SEO updates literally on the pages, and in order to do it, he may need to coordinate that with the sidebar widgets because it's kind of the same. They go together. Then you might have another guy, like a copywriter, whose job is just to put together testimonials and organize them into the project. Then you might have somebody, and they're just, you know, your images and videos guy to add images and videos to the website. Their job is to organize categories and enable them, and decide where the images go, and decide what global variables to put in, you know, to make the images relate to every city or keyword or whatever, or different links, paths, right? And then you've got the videos for also put in the videos. So that would be the name of the video, and then the YouTube video ID. That's the link, you know, the name of the YouTube video, really. And then the description and whether to enable it. So that's simple. You know, every video has, well, the video link to make the video show, and then optionally a title, optionally a description. And it's really good for SEO to add titles and descriptions. And then do we want to enable it or not? That's for video 1. What about video 2? What about video 3? And then you can use those videos on a videos page. So you could create a set of training videos through chapters or whatever you want to do, or just different videos for reference to learn more about your thing in general. Okay, there you go. And then each of these can be uploaded into Varsheet Installer at different times to update the websites, the different parts of the website, each time the new file is updated, you know, uploaded, right? So somebody will upload and it'll update all the general settings tabs, but nothing else. Then someone else will upload the pages with the sidebar widgets, and that'll just update all the contents in the sidebar widget sections, but nothing else, none of the typography or settings. See? So they can be run together, or they can be run separately in any combination you want. But why do we keep the global variables out of it? Because we're handling them on purpose separately with the Varsheet loader, so that we can upload our Varsheet, spread it across all the websites, so that we can then decide how many rows we want to generate in the sitemaps using those Varsheets, and then randomize the front end. Since that's so efficient, then it's just easier than trying to figure out all that variability manually by yourself on the global variable file here. It's just harder to figure out how to create all that variability in here unless you want to. There might be a time that you have company names and information and cities, and you just want to paste it into all of these and upload it to create the new front pages of the websites, and you're doing it on purpose. You can do that. No one says you can't. You can absolutely control everything, all your videos, you know, anything you have variables for. By the way, when you're thinking to ask, do all websites have to have the same variables? Of course not. Each row is independent. And the only reason they would ever have the same variables is just to help you paste in chunks of columns. But if you had like a bunch of projects here with certain variables, and then your next set of projects needed a few other variables, then your next set of projects need less variables, but they're different, yeah, you can absolutely do your variables differently. Row by row, each website by website, the variables are just from the beginning on, variable 1, variable 2, variable 3 for each website. Now, reality check is this. The global variables tab has system variables. Again, URL type, folder type, theme, subdomain, folder 1, 2, 3, and page name. I know we haven't discussed it. We haven't discussed how to make, we haven't discussed how to create variability with these things much, except for the theme column is for your theme. 0, 1, 2, or 3 are the main ones, the ones that exist right now inside that panel. Okay, so we can cycle or whatever if we really want. But aside from that, we haven't talked about the rest of it. Don't worry about it. We'll deal with that later on. That's more advanced. Right now, just do the way we plug and played it here. It's enough for you to create intense variability. You don't need more variability. That's just making the yarn even bigger and more convoluted and tighter. We'll do it later, okay? Sort of advanced stuff for just if you really want to go crazy. You can control what? You can control exactly the URL structure for every single page in your subdomain and in your main folder structure and pages right in the subdomain, and then folders of the subdomain with pages and subfolders, because then you're going to have pages in those subfolders and subfolders, folder 1, folder 2, and folder 3. That's your folder, subfolder, subfolder. And you can have pages in every single one of them. And you can control the page names. They don't have to be based on the keywords. It's nice. It's just extra. So get the first stuff down, then we can revisit, okay? And the reason all that was created was so that even though the linkage structure is not the same from site to site to site, it's too varied to have a footprint. So even your link structure for subdomains and just folders, like domain.com/folder with pages and subfolders with pages and subfolders with pages in them. Yeah, there's no strangeness to any of that. You can do it in any combination you want for all your websites. All right, we're almost there. Now we're going to play around with automation. I'm going to upload a few files in the next video, and just literally we're going to take a look at the changes we made. Big SEO changes to the website. Okay.